What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In the last episode, you saw me get the bend pack lift finished up and operational. Did the wiring, had some help getting the actual lift installed itself and put together. Big time update for the shop. Cannot wait to start utilizing this here. I've had the Corvair up on the lift a couple times just to make sure its range of motion and everything else is working as it should, but haven't really started tinkering on anything with the lift yet. It's only been in for about a week, but now that that is in, I can start on tearing the 1959 Beetle apart. And again, in a previous episode, you guys saw me go to South Carolina to pick this pre-65 link pin pan up. Well, basically a Beetle came with it, a heavily parted one, but that pan is going underneath my 1960 Auto Union 1000 SP. So before I get this thing in the shop, I really want to hoe all of the vegetation and garbage out of it, and there's a lot. This car sat in the woods. Even as it was being parted, it sat in the woods in South Carolina, so it's just filled with just dirt and junk and spiders and stuff that I don't want getting in the shop. So I'm gonna hoe all that stuff out first, kind of clean it up, maybe even pressure wash it just to get any insects and whatnot out of here as best I can. And then it's up on the lift, and I'm gonna start the process of separating the body from the pan. It's finally cooled down here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, to where I can have the doors open in the morning. All right, gonna start hoeing all this stuff out. I'm gonna end up selling the body with any usable parts that anyone thinks they can use. There's some interior components, all the glass. Some glass is still good. Window cranks, door handles, grab handles, the dash. But there's some parts on this car apparently that people can restore. It's got the ribbed rear fenders. It's got the tube front fenders, which have the tube that carry the wiring harness to the headlights right there. All right, so I got most of all what was left of the rotted interior and upholstery out. Swept a lot of the loose rust and debris and vegetation out. I got to the body bolts here. There's two here. And as you can see, there's a few that go up and over the back part of the pan. So this part will separate from the pan because the tunnel is all part of the pan that I'm keeping. And that obviously carries the strength of the whole pan. All right, well, I got the Beetle inside and kind of set up where I think I want it. I forgot that there are plenty of body bolts up underneath the ridge of the pan up into the rocker panel of the body. It wasn't until I started to try to separate it with a pry bar that I looked underneath and realized that there was a series of bolts, probably, 5 each side? I haven't counted yet, but there's a handful each side. So since the passenger side floor is so far rotted, I decided to run a 4x4 beam basically across the front lift arms so it could bridge the actual tunnel, which is all that's left of basically the structural support up to the front end. Got it in the air. This is basically as high as this Beetle can go on this lift, but it's more than enough to get under there and get all those body bolts unbolted, set it down, and then re-rig the lift arms to just the body, and hopefully we're pulling this thing up off the pan. For those of you guys wondering, there were a handful right here, and there are a couple still here, but they're stripped out because there's just nothing above them. It's all just rust. As you can see, there's no floor left right here, which is why I use this 4x4 to bridge the actual tunnel to basically lift the car. So these are stripped out. I should be able to pry that free once I get the jack points or the lift arms underneath the actual body. And then there are the 17 mil, the 4 major ones, or the bigger bolts here in the front, I should say. And then the 2 in the front up here from up top, all the ones inside. I think we're good. I'm going to set it down and reorientate the lift arms and see if we can't lift this body up. Oh, it's still hanging on by a thread in the back. All right, so I totally forgot about the rear mounts inside the rear fender well. I should know this, I should remember this, because these are actual mounts that we utilized on the BMW 700 body. I know that those are body mounts on the actual, if you want to call them, the strut tower that holds the shock. Halfway up that tower, there's a threaded hole with a plate on it that the rear body mounts fit to. And I forgot all about those. So I was gonna try to re-rig the lift arms and get it up in the air to get the wheels off to get to it. It turns out with a small extension, I can get to it with the wheels off. So hopefully I can get to the other one. I got this one freed up by hand and coming off now. And then hopefully this body's coming off this pan. Should be it. All right, it is separated. A little slow going at first because there were a few things that were hanging me up. This aftermarket horn had a line that was twisty tied or tied up into a knot basically around the brake line guide. But it freed up, it's in the air, and now I'm getting a better look at the bones of what I'm ultimately going to be putting underneath the 1000 SP. Basically, the pans are pretty rotted, passenger side's all gone. But as I mentioned before, the tunnel is what I need. And I'll obviously clean all this up. And basically I'll use the lip off the edge of the tunnel to meet the floors of the 1000 SP. I'm excited about the pan, the chassis, the overall drivetrain and chassis of this 59 Beetle, as it's going to live on in one of the rarest auto unions that they made. But we're one step closer. The acquisition and now the separation. We've got a lot of work to do on the pan. but one step closer to starting this whole project and diving in head first. I honestly didn't even plan on going this far with this tonight. I wanted to just hoe it out and pressure wash it and get it ready to roll in here. And once I rolled it in here, I just figured it was go time. So it's pretty late now, but I'm so stoked that that body is up off the pan. I want to thank you guys so much for all of the support. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're excited to see where this project goes and to watch one of the first Auto Union 1000 SPs be bagged and put down over a Beetle pan. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. I think next one will be building a wooden frame and dolly system underneath this body to get it out of the shop and ultimately, hopefully, onto somebody's trailer. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.